Book of Shadows. A Pacific Northwest. The cabin sat alone at the edge of Black Pine Lake in rural Oregon. Pine forests on 3 sides. Dark water behind. No neighbors for 6 miles. The kind of place that looks beautiful in photographs and wrong in person. Evergreen tree. It had belonged to Emma's grandfather Walter for 30 years. Then Walter disappeared. Skull. The postman found the cabin unlocked on a Tuesday morning. Walter's truck in the driveway. His coffee mug on the table. Half a sandwich on the counter. But no Walter. Police searched the lake, the forest, the surrounding hills. Nothing. After 3 months, they declared Walter Harmon deceased. The cabin and property passed to his granddaughter Emma, 25 years old, living in Seattle, working in graphic design. She drove down on a Wednesday to handle the estate. Her plan was simple. Clean it out. Sign the papers. Sell it. Go home. Anxious face with sweat. She spent all day cleaning. The cabin was small but packed. Fishing gear, old tools, stacked National Geographics, boxes of photographs. By late afternoon, she had gotten through every room except the detached garage. The garage smelled like motor oil and cedar and old metal. Rusted tools hanging on pegboards. A fishing kayak suspended from the ceiling. Wooden crates stacked along the walls. And in the far corner, between the last shelf and the back wall, wrapped in black canvas and jammed into a narrow gap, something heavy. Emma pulled it out, unwrapped it. A book. The cover was wrong immediately. Not leather. Something that looked like leather but wasn't quite. Pieced together from different sources, edges sewn with dark thread. In the center, a carved symbol. A circle with roots growing through it, and inside the roots, barely visible, a face. Eyes open. Looking up. Face screaming in fear. Emma opened to the first page. The text was handwritten in deep red-brown ink. Not English. Something older. The letters had shapes that suggested meaning without giving it, like words from a language you almost remember. Around the margins, drawings. Inverted trees. Long, thin figures with too many joints. Eyes that seemed to track position as the page moved. Emma found herself reading aloud without deciding to. The words came out of her throat without her choosing them, shaped by something in the symbols that bypassed conscious decision and went straight to the muscles of her mouth. The last word left her lips. A burning sensation shot through the fingers of her right hand. She slammed the book shut. Fearful face. Outside, the sky went dark. Not sunset dark. Suddenly, completely dark, like a switch. Wind hit the pine trees all at once, and they bent east in unison. The lake's surface churned white. Above the cabin, a mass of black crows appeared from nowhere, circling, hundreds of them, silent. Emma looked at her hand. Between her knuckles, spreading toward her wrist, a thin black line. Not a burn mark. Not a cut. Something under the skin, branching like roots, faintly pulsing. She wrapped the book back in the canvas, stuffed it behind the shelf, locked the garage door, went inside and locked that door too. The weather returned to normal within minutes. Clear sky, calm water. The crows gone without sound or trace. But the lines on her hand remained. Skull. She was asleep by 8, exhausted. At some point deep in the night, she woke to a sound. A man's voice. Downstairs. Calling for help. Face screaming in fear. Emma came down the stairs slowly, heart going. The living room was dim. One lamp on. Shadows everywhere. Walter was sitting at the dining table. Her grandfather, alive, hunched over the dining table with both hands flat on the surface and his face turned toward the wall. And on the table in front of him, the book. Grandpa. Emma's voice came out thin. Grandpa, how are you here? Where have you been? Walter turned. His face was wrong, too thin, cheekbones pushing through skin, eyes ringed with black, so deep it looked bruised. His clothes were soaked with lake mud. He looked like a man who had spent months sleeping in wet earth. He grabbed her hands. His grip was shaking but strong. Listen to me, he said. Listen carefully. The book. He stopped. His head jerked toward the window. Then the ceiling. It already knows you're here. Fearful face. Grandpa, what are you talking about? We need to get you to a doctor. Sit down. His voice was sharp, more urgent than she had ever heard it. Please, Emma. I don't have much time before it pulls me back. I need to tell you what it is. Emma Saturday's skull. Walter had found the book when he bought the cabin 30 years ago, hidden in a wall cavity, wrapped in the same black canvas. He had opened it and read from it the same way Emma had, without fully choosing to, the words pulling themselves out of his mouth. After that, the cabin changed. Sounds at first, movement in peripheral vision, then faces, appearing in window glass, in the surface of the lake, in the shadows of the pine trees. Faces that wore the shapes of people he knew. His wife, his daughter, neighbors. Whatever is in that book, Walter said, it learns your people. It learns who you love. It uses their faces to get close to you. He had tried to destroy it, burned it in the fireplace. The book was unharmed. Threw it in the lake. It was back on his table the next morning. Buried it in the forest. It was back within the hour. So he had wrapped it and hidden it and tried to live with it. For years he had managed. Then 3 months ago it got stronger, Walter said. I don't know why. Something changed. It started pulling me outside at night, toward the lake. One morning I woke up at the water's edge and I couldn't remember walking there. He looked at her. I left to protect you. I knew if I was gone you'd be less likely to come here, less likely to find the book. He closed his eyes briefly. I should have destroyed this place. Broken heart. The book on the table opened by itself. Not all the way, just enough. The pages turned slowly in air that had no movement. Each page that passed left a faint mark on the wooden table, the same circular root symbol from the cover, burning itself into the grain. The fireplace ignited, not gradually, all at once, full flame, no paper, no kindling. Walter stood up. His face changed. The process was gradual and terrible, the veins in his neck darkening and rising, his eyes going white, his expression emptying of everything that made it his expression, like a tide going out and something else coming in behind it. Grandpa, face screaming in fear. He picked up the heavy iron candlestick from the table. Molten wax began dripping over his hands. He didn't react to it, didn't flinch. He turned toward Emma with the candlestick raised. Emma dove sideways. The candlestick hit the wall. The impact knocked a lamp into the window curtains, and the curtains caught immediately. Old dry fabric going up in seconds. Walter swung again. Emma grabbed the dining chair between them and shoved it forward, and Walter went backward into the wall, and the candlestick fell and landed on the braided rug, and the rug caught. Face screaming in fear. The fire moved faster than fires should move. The cabin was old, dry, full of decades of accumulated wood and paper and fabric, and it went up like it had been waiting for exactly this moment. Emma grabbed the window above the kitchen sink, threw it open. The pine trees were right there, 5 feet away, the dark Oregon forest, the cold night air. She pulled herself through. She landed in the pine needles outside and looked back. Through the kitchen window, through the spreading orange light of the fire, she saw a figure in the window. A girl, her face burned, her skin blackened and cracked, her eyes open and fixed on Emma. Emma looked at the girl's hands. The lines on them, black, branching, spreading like roots. Exactly like Emma's hand. The girl was herself. Skull. Emma ran. She ran through the pine forest along the lake edge until her lungs gave out, and her legs stopped working and she collapsed on the gravel shore half a mile from the cabin. She lay there and breathed and watched the orange glow through the trees that meant the cabin was still burning. The fire department arrived 40 minutes later. They found her on the shore. They treated her for smoke inhalation she didn't know she had. They found 2 bodies in the cabin ruins. Both burned beyond immediate identification. Both found near the dining table. Emma told the investigators everything. She told them about the book, about Walter, about the window, about the girl with the burned face. The investigator who took her statement wrote it all down with a careful neutral expression that meant he was deciding how much of it to include in the official report. The book was recovered from the table. It was undamaged, not scorched, not warped. The canvas wrapping was ash. The book itself, cover intact, pages dry, symbol on the front unchanged. sitting in the center of a 6-foot circle of burned debris. The lead investigator put it in an evidence bag without touching it directly. He did not include this detail in the public report. 3 weeks later, the evidence storage room at the county sheriff's office reported the bag empty. The book was gone. No explanation was found. Skull. Emma went back to Seattle. She took a leave from work. She didn't sleep well. She kept the light on. The lines on her hand faded over 3 months, slowly, gradually. The black branching marks growing lighter and lighter until she had to look very carefully in certain light to see them at all. By December, she couldn't see them anymore. Or maybe she had stopped letting herself look. She sold the property, the land, the burned ruins, the dock over the lake, the detached garage, to a development company that planned to build a vacation rental. The sale went through in January. Construction began in February. In March, the site foreman found something while excavating for the new foundation. He filed a report. The county sent an investigator. Emma got a call that evening. She didn't pick up. She saw the Oregon area code and she put the phone face down and went to stand at the window and look at the Seattle skyline and breathe carefully until the voicemail notification appeared. She listened to it once, then deleted it without saving. She already knew what they had found. Dove. She already knew the book was back. She already knew it would always come back. The only question was whether she would be the one who finally figured out how to end it, or whether it would end her first. That question kept her awake most nights. But she was still asking it, which meant she still had time. The End Ghost.